All right. Good afternoon to anyone joining today for Northspire 101. We are going to get started in a few minutes. Just thought I should let you know that there is a poll open for you to review. It's really just an understanding of what your role is and what department you're coming from. And then we do have a Q&A open today to get started. Feel free to ask questions during this webinar, but I'm going to give folks one more minute to join before we dive into introductions and topic at hand, which is the first part of Northspire 101's training, getting started with navigation, managing portfolios, and project settings. All right, taking my last sip of coffee for the afternoon, let's dive right into today's topic. As I mentioned, today's topic is part one of the Northspire 101 series. My name is Kate Opelka, and I'm a real estate transformation consultant here at Northspire. My job is to help members like yourself not only get to know the software to help improve how you are using Northspire to build your buildings, but to also understand how it can improve your processes internally and make life easier all around. Before my time at Northspire, I worked at a few other real estate companies, including development, property management, and also another SaaS company that helped real estate developers and landlords find their ROI and get a better sense of what their visibility looks like. Overall, today's session is going to be part one of two. Tomorrow is the second half. And this session will be repeating actually in the next couple of weeks. So if you missed this one, no worries. Or if you need to jump off early, these are all going to be recorded as well for your convenience. So feel free to come back and review at any time. Before we jump at the topic at hand, I do want to take a quick moment and remind everyone that we here at Northspire are here to support you in many different ways. First and foremost, it would be the real estate transformation consultants that are like myself, assigned to different clients and different teams to help with any personal questions or issues. We are here during business hours throughout the week. And if you're not available or are busy traveling, there are a few other ways to contact us. We also offer the Concierge Help Desk, which is concierge@northspire.com. It is our back-end team that helps any quick questions, problems, anything like that. And they typically have about a 5-minute response rate, and they're available a little bit more than we are, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. East Central. But if any of those items are not going to be working for you today, or maybe you are working late at midnight, 1 a.m., those crazy development hours, then maybe knowledge base or our self-service fast answers is for you. We have 350 articles and growing. So really, it's a place to answer most basic questions or how to find basic training information. If you're looking for something in particular, or you're looking at a certain page and you're unsure how to proceed, just look up that keyword in the knowledge.northspire.com and you should have an answer shortly. So there you go. You have a little bit more support for you starting today, and hopefully you'll see this video again soon. For today's training agenda, we're really just looking at the basics of getting started with a new project in Northspire. Whether you're here and been a long-time customer, you want a refresher on some tools, or you're brand new and just wanted to see what you remember from our first internal session, great to check it out. This session, as I mentioned, is going to be followed up tomorrow with a little bit more of an introduction in our anticipated cost report, where we store your budget, and the data inbox, just how all of your documents, contracts, invoices, lien waivers, etc., flow into our tool and get approved. So be sure to check those out. On June 12th, save that date, we are going to be launching our Q2 update. It has a lot to do with our portfolio analytical suite, as well as complex capital stack. So whether you're in LIHTC or just have a lot of lenders to work with, we've got some solutions for you coming right out. And then following up that training is going to be, again, a recourse with myself personally, back from Northspire 101. Same sessions as this week. So if you missed one, be sure to come back later. And then on June 19th, I know some of you might be off, but the session will be recorded. We are going to be doing a world-class draw package training as well, as a great follow-up to the first two trainings. My coworker, Joe, if you haven't met him, you're going to love him. He is a podcaster, or at least he sounds like one. So it's going to be a really fun, great session for you to learn how to pull your draw packages together. Following that, we do a bunch of other sessions coming up, so feel free to take a screenshot or just check out the options online. All right, without further ado, let's dive in. My goal today is to help you guys figure out just some basic functionality, logging in, getting in your project set up, how to find the data you need, how to get notifications set up for yourself so you know what to expect and when, and really how to utilize all of our aggregate data to your advantage. So really that's kind of the key theme, navigation, all the typical stuff you would see on any software in any industry. So that's really the goal today. So if without any further ado, let's dive in and get into it. You are a Northspire user, go ahead and log in. Forgot your username, you can just follow along on my screen and we'll get you set up sooner rather than later. All right, so just diving into our first session here. Typically when you are all set on a platform, you have signed in, you've logged in, you've got all that stuff done. Our RATC team or Real Transformation Consultant team will set you guys up on the project or projects that you are across, whether you're an administrator or a project manager. And typically when you sign in, this is going to be the screen you see for the first time. This is the portfolio manager, and this is really the aggregate in what your projects look like across your portfolio. So anything that's in Northspire, you can find on the screen. Now, this is a great tool to keep in mind for some of those higher ups who want aggregate data for all of your projects or just individual ones. And it also is a great way to check in on your project pipeline, understand how you can maybe compromise and create groupings of your projects to understand what's next for you and the team, and maybe get some great statistics and data with their upcoming portfolio analytical suite that should be out and updated and out. Well, at least the updated version will be out on June 12th. When I open this screen, there's a few things that I want to just take advantage of. Number one is that we do have this left pop-up menu here. It's called your project pipeline. Click hide, it goes away. Click the 3 lines, it'll come back. This is really just a great way to see how your projects are trending and what stage they are in. Sometimes I hear a lot of CFOs, CEOs are just trying to get an understanding of where your projects are, how close they're to completion. And so this is kind of a great way just to understand that information. I would say you may not need it every day, so you do have the option of hiding it. Anytime you make any adjustments on your personal page, Northspire does get sticky, which means that it does memorize your viewpoint and understanding. So when realizing that, just make sure that you know that maybe some other person on your team may have a different view. I definitely recommend syncing up with your administrators or who's ever using Northspire and set up a basis understanding of how you want to understand your data. Outside of that, there also are 3 different views to the dashboard itself. So first and foremost, we have the actual dashboard view, which as you can see has some quick stats across all of your projects. And then each individual project is broken up into its own little square on the bottom left here. And then you'll see some statistics across this. Like anything else in Northspire, color does matter. So you may notice that green, usually good, green is good. You'll see that across the projects that have a good % completion versus contingency usage. Maybe their approved budget is all set. There's not a lot of questions here. But when you see red, it's a warning sign. So we have our total anticipated cost here. So it's a stat that looks at your worst case scenario of your budget, and looks like here it's above what we've approved, and our contingency looks like we need to check out that information. This is just a great way if you come in your multiple projects, or maybe you're just a little bit more of a higher up looking at to understand how things are flowing, to see maybe where to start with. So I use this a lot when I'm looking at multiple projects and I want to understand which project I want to kind of take a dive into before I do any actual work. Now, of course, these are all demo projects, and the numbers may be a little crazy here, but I'm sure your projects look great and they're following their contingencies and their project completions. In this view, also, you do have the option to review some project cash flows. You can tick on actuals if you want to see what's been spent to date versus what's been actually funded. And then obviously your projected costs. A lot of times across the screen, you may notice this out arrow. You'll see it on a few different options here. Anytime you click into that, it'll actually take you to the appropriate page within your project to help you make those changes or adjustments as needed. And last on this kind of just bar here that shows all of the data across your project, we have tasks and milestones, which is our scheduling tool. It is just truly a way for you guys to intuitively use powerful solutions to not only grasp what you're working on day to day, but maybe also keep in mind your construction schedule. It's just a great way to kind of plan out what's coming up on your project and where you're at. Again, really made here to show you aggregate data. So this is going to show whoever on your project is a link to the project, where we stand today, what's been completed, what's next. And there are notifications you can also set up. We'll kind of go through that at the end. That'll show you maybe what work is applied to you. Now, you may also see that all across the top here, we have some quick stats. You can always click on any of these numbers to get more information as to maybe why something is over budget. But truly, again, this dashboard view has the most amount of information. It's a great view of the platform and gives you a good idea of what's happening. The two other views we have in here are going to be your card view. A little bit less daunting, less information, and really just breaks everything up into a little box or square, however you want to call it, and gives you a little bit more information. Has still that project completion, the status of your project, and whether it's a Northspire Pro plan, etc. It does also have your square footage info. So a good way to kind of just show some to highlight data. And then last but not least, list is my favorite view, but I'm not in any project particularly, so that's why I enjoy this view the most. This is just a great way to see all your projects in a list. Progress bar is pretty clean here. You can actually scroll over to see some more data, approved budget, stage it's in, etc. And you can actually click the double dots to move to a different stage or edit the information you see up front. Again, sticky settings. So if you're interested, you want to keep something more particular for you, go ahead and set it now and that'll be good to go. Some other quick things just to note here within the project is you'll see here that we have the option to create new projects as well. So if you're looking to look at some early due diligence work or early budget planning, this is going to be a great tool for you to use to start just using our plan options with your pro licensing to see what is at stake or what you want to create. There are lots of really great trainings out there to show you how to use our early budget planning tools, including bid management, to kind of see what's out there and what you could do to create the best possible projections. And then last but not least on this page is going to be our add and manage portfolio groups. Now, this is a really great tool if you have multiple projects. I definitely recommend this for anyone who is trying to distinguish maybe things by role or by geography. So I use this a lot because I have multiple customers. I create different groupings for each customer, and then I'm able to see all their projects in that particular team member. But the idea here is if you click add and manage portfolio groups, it's going to give you an outline of all the groups you have already created. And you can also click add new portfolio grouping, name it, and select the type of grouping that you would like to see. So we have a few options here. Again, really your choice of how you want to select this information. But I've seen a lot of great project managers maybe team up with other members in their teams and utilize this to help selectively view only certain parts of the portfolio. Great for larger aggregate groups as mentioned. Heading back to our list here, I'm just going to go ahead and pull up this last list view as I mentioned. We're going to click into our core and shell renovation project and take a look at our project dashboard here. I do actually have it open already on a separate tab, but that is the way to go. Anytime you see a blue text of any sort, you actually are able to click into that space to see further. We'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow or at the next Northspire 101 session. So be sure to check that out. Each of your projects, though, does have its own project dashboard, and really it's a window as what's happening at that project by any second or me. And a lot of times I see new members or new Northspire clients, they are really impressed by this page because it takes weeks sometimes to pull data for your team internally or your lenders externally. By the time that you've pulled together the budget and you look across all your different tabs about invoicing and contracting, you try to pull up essentially what we have on one page here, which really is a great way to showcase how your project is trending, where the numbers are, and what you should attack first. For simplicity, I always just want to show off that we do actually collect a lot of your project information and data, and this can be found right here in the middle. It also could be viewed under Power Tools, Project Information. So if there's any edits to the address, the type of square footage or scope of work it is, if it's maybe you want to update that it's not an office asset, it's mixed use, whatever it may be. This is how all that average data gets calculated. And then the budget committed and balance remaining are all costs that are updated to the second. So a lot of times we have that, the budget we agree to with our lenders or our teams. And then we do have our commitments, essentially just your contracts and change orders that you can follow along here. With this 74%, you also know how much has been invoiced against it, which is a great way to keep track of the cost. And in general, we also have the balance remaining, which is just showing you how much money you have to spend still, which is looking like really great here. On the right-hand side here, we also do have some other information, including percent completion. So a lot of times I see people compare the contingency usage percentage to the completion project here. Looks really easy to follow along here and easy to go. So great numbers to kind of compare. Looks like I'm a little high on my contingencies, given that only 17% complete. We have that project cash flow here again. And then on top of that, we do also have our current rec period, billing period information as to what we owe, net available funds, cost per square footage, a lot of the same data people like to view. And then right below here, we do have some quick options as well. We do offer a bid management service, tasks and milestones, again, as that schedule tool, and then selected vendors on the right-hand side here. This allowing you to understand how much of your vendors have completed their work based on contracts and invoices. And then last but not least, on this aggregate page, we also do have key potential costs that essentially are going to be either your exposures or proposals that you want to keep track on to make sure that you are getting a good advocacy of your work to come. Across the board, this is definitely the most populated page for anything in every project, but a lot of times, a lot of our users spend their time on this top section navigation bar here. To start, I always want to call out the fact that we do have a really great search functionality. You can search anything you want, words, items, invoice numbers in case your vendor asks. We do also have a notification bell, which you can set up by going to your icon here and clicking My Account. And then we also do have the latest updates, which is going to give you the greatest and newest information from Northspire today. So anytime any updates come out on the platform, you can find them here. Now, a lot of the next time together is going to be shared looking at these top sections here. We're going to focus on anticipated cost report, which is where your budget lives. Joe, my good friend Joe, is going to go through the draw request tool, which is how we put together your draw package in seconds. We do offer a SharePoint option, which is a great option in case you're curious of how you want to share documents with your vendors or even team members. As you guys have heard, schedules, tasks, and milestones, so keeping your schedule on board. And then also next time we meet, we are going to talk about the data inbox, just how information gets flows into the tool to get approved for your budget. We do also offer a myriad of other tools here at Power Tools, and there are multiple sessions that cover many of these sections, something to look forward to in the near future. And then if you ever get lost, you do have the option to head back to this page by clicking the Northspire icon. Now, this is just the beginning, so please be sure to set up and get into the next time we meet. I really want to make sure you guys are set up for success here, but those are the first kind of things that I would review typically on an initial session with our users. So be sure to check in tomorrow or later this month for additional information on how to manage your budget and your data inbox. My name is Kate. It's so nice to meet you, and I hope you have a great day.